Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode. In today's episode, we are going to build a store dashboard, and this is the data that we have for that. So we have information about orders. So what was the order ID? What shipment mode was used? Customer information, which city and country. Then we have more information about the product name, the amount of sales, the quantity of product bought, and then the shipping cost and profits. We also have information about the salespersons and also information about the orders that were returned. Let's begin by creating some measures to calculate general statistics. So we start with sales. Let's call that sales amount. So we are looking at the total sales in the period. And also we are going to look at how many orders we also had. So we are going to count the distinct number of orders that we had in period. So for the order ID, let's also take a look at how much profit we accumulated in the period. Okay, let's add profit amount. And then because we had the returns information, let's look at how many items were returned also. So we count the return. So let's begin. We have this card visual. We can basically now look at how much sales we had. So this is the sales, total sales we had, total profit, how much was ordered, and how many were returned. Okay, so for the sales was in dollars, so let's change this to in dollars. And for the profit, that was also in dollars, so let's change that. Let's apply a bit more formatting here. So just to change everything to be in one decimal place if needed. So we first can do for the sales, and for the sales we want to see it in millions, and then let's just round it up to one decimal place. Then we do same for the profit. Also in millions and to one decimal place. For the number of orders, since it's a count, let's look at the actual. So let's set this to none. And same for the returns as well. Okay, we are off to a good start. We can also analyze this by the different categories of products that were sold. So if we go into the orders table, we see we have this category. So let's just get a slicer for that. And basically we have 3 main categories, and we can also get another slicer for the subcategory of products that we have. So let's move this to this section. Instead of it showing on rows, let's change it to show on columns. So we go into the layout and then we just make it into a single column. And then we can show the maximum, let's say 5 items. And now we expand it out. So that we have enough space for the category and subcategory information. So now that we are off to a good start, let's look at sales by, for example, market. So for that, we have the sales amount. And these are the different markets that we have. So we can see APAC had the highest sales. Let's enable the data labels to see how much exactly we got from APAC region. So this is 3.6 million and followed by EU with 2.9 million. Let's turn off the grid lines just to make it better. And because we have this title, we can also use this opportunity to turn off the X and Y axis title, because the main title gives us more information about what the visual is about, just to keep everything clean. So this is what we have for now. And then we can do similar things by just copy and pasting. So now instead of looking it by salesperson, let's look at other information from the other table. So we can look at the salesperson. So which salesperson had the most sales. So for that, we replace the market with the salesperson, and let's just change this to salesperson so that it affects the title as well. And because we copied pasted this formatting is already applying here, which is already looking good. Make this a bit smaller. Let's see, okay, which shipment mode was used as well. So we saw we had a column called ship mode. So mostly it was just ensure like the standard one in most cases, which is good enough. And then let's also take a look at other attributes. So we already have the category here. We have the market. So what we can do is the market is the highest level. We can also add information such as country and city here, so that we don't have a lot of graphs here. You can basically use the draw down and draw up to get this insight as well. So we have city and this, and then the higher level will be market, which I think is good enough. Let's look at other things that may be interesting. So I think instead of looking at it based on the shipment mode, I think looking at it, let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, this is okay. So let's look for another variable. that is good to report on. So we have the returns table as well, so we can look at how much was returned by which market. So we have this here. Instead of sales, let's look at the return. So we already created the measures for that. So how many products were returned by which market? Okay, so there is no connection. Oh, sorry, we are using the wrong one. Yeah, so we can also easily change this market. So the returns market. And this is what we have so far. And everything looks okay, because when we put the market from the orders information, this wasn't changing. What we have to do is to go into the model view and then try to connect this. So we have this order ID and this order ID, so let's just connect them. And yeah, this will just going to be a many-to-many relationship. So we come back here, and now let's just use the market from the order information. This really doesn't matter now. If you should filter on something, it should filter because everything is connected. So basically, we can give this insights to our upper management. We see, for example, for category furniture, we had a total sales of 4.1 and about 300,000 in profit for that. In total, we have the orders amounts as 8,000 orders. Let's make another improvement here because this can be more than hundreds. So what we can do is to add a comma separator to just help with seeing what exactly it is. So we go here and we display the value. Okay, so now when we filter on it, we have 8,195, and we can also do the same for the returns, assuming it's more than hundreds and it goes into the thousand range. So we can do the same here as well. And as usual, just save your report. So for products category furniture, this is the total amount we have. Then we see for each market, which market had the highest. In this case, is still APAC, contributing 1.34 million, and followed by Latin America, and in that order. And we see the salesperson through which the sales was transacted as well. And then we also have information about what shipment mode was used and how much of the products were returned by which market as well. So we see there is here is labeled as US and here is as United States. So what we can do is just to keep everything standardized, we can use the market from the orders table because now they are connected through relationship. Everything will filter out correctly, and just to have consistency, let's just use this so that we can see it's US, APAC, and Latin America. So now if we select based on office supplies, then it changes respectively. So everything is looking good now. We can just use this clear selection to go back to the default state. So basically we can show for each category how much sales and profits that we had by different market salespeople, how many items were returned by the market. And here as well, we can add the other levels of information so that it could give you the opportunity to drill down. So for markets, we can go to a country level and then city level, which I think is enough. So you can just basically drill down here, and it goes from the market level to the country level, and then you can do the same to go to a city level. Then you can just scroll up again, or you can just do it like this, but then in this case it looks a bit messy, which we would have to format if we want to use this sort of drill down. But I think just using this, going to the next hierarchy, works well in this case. Now, because we are going to present this to upper managers, let's make this dashboard presentable and very professional as well. So what we can do is, we have this category information, which we are using the old slicer to make it better. We can use the new slicer from Power BI. And what I'm going to do is to increase the length and width so that we also have enough space to help us to put everything, to place everything nicely. So currently we are on a default, but then we can click on the custom, and let's change the height. Let's add 200 to it. And for the width, let's make it 1400 to make it a bit bigger. So now we have enough space to move things around a bit. Okay, I'm just going to bring this down for the moment, and then we can make this bigger. And then we also change the slicer type to the new slicers as well. So let's just keep this and just make everything way better. So we just go in here. Before that, let's just change the background. So let's choose a background color that helps to make this presentable. And for that, let's use this color for the background. And let's change the transparency maybe to like 40. So we have this background already. And now we just try to start making improvements. Let's start with the card visual, the new card visual as well. So with these new features that Power BI has introduced in terms of card slicers and other things, it's really helpful and just makes our work look more professional as well. So we start with this, and let's give this a width of, let's say, 170. Okay, 170. We are just going to go and adjust these so that they fit way better. So we go to the call out values and we apply it for everything. Let's make this a bit smaller. So we have 30 so that everything fits nicely. And let's change the black color as well to another color to make everything looks very professional. So this has started to look good already. Just pull this one down a bit. Then what we can do also is so be here, and for the labels, let's just change things around a bit. So currently the labels are above. Let's just reposition it to below. And also for this, let's center everything. So we put everything as centered. And let's change the color for that as well. So what color are we going to use? Let's use this color. Okay, so we have this color as well, and maybe let's increase the size of this a bit small, just maybe by one, and see how everything looks. I think everything looks good for now, but let's go here and adjust the sales. We added amounts here because we already had a column called sales in the tables that we had. So let's just change it from here. And this way we can just leave this as it is. Let's go in and just look at more of the formatting options for the new card visuals that we have. So basically what we can do is to, let's say, turn off the background. Let's see. For this, no, let's just leave the background for now and turn off the borders. So everything is looking kind of, yeah, it looks a bit boring now, but then we can just go in to make it better. So let's add an accent color, which also came with the new cards. And for this, we can position it at different places. So you can put it at left, right, top or bottom. So for now, let's keep it at the bottom. I think this makes it better. And let's increase the width of this to 5. And also for that as well, let's change the color to better reflect with what we are trying to achieve. Oh, okay, let me just get the color code. Yes, so this has started to look nice already. We have this width already here. Let's look at the positioning of everything to see whether everything looks okay. So for the height, the total height we had was, I believe, 920. So we can make this like 900, and we just position everything 10 and 10. And then to make our life easier, we can just lock this in place so that it doesn't move around, and just save this. So this has started looking nice. So now let's tackle the category slicer. The first thing I'm going to do is to turn off the title so that we have a bit more space. This is already looking nice. And then similar to what we did for the cards, let's go to the buttons place and also turn on the accent bar. And currently it's positioned at this point. It's looking nice. Let's change the color also. Let's pick this color, and also let's increase the width of that to 5 as well. And then this has started looking nice. So this was 170. Let's reposition this as well. And so we had 190, 200, and the whole width was supposed to be 1400. So we can increase the width a bit. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so that everything fits nicely. This has started to look nice already. And about the height, let's see what we can do about the height, whether it's okay or not. Let's keep the height at 100. and position this, then adjust it a bit. And we increase the width of this as well. And then for the height of that, let's make it, because this has more elements, maybe like 125. And we also are going to turn off the header as well. Let's move this to 120 instead. Okay, so when nothing is selected, we have this for all of them. And then when something is selected, then we have this is for that as well. Okay, everything is looking nice already. So we see we have a scroll bar here, which basically gives us the opportunity to scroll when nothing is selected and all the subcategories are showing. But then we can make this better. So let's go back to the layout and then go to overflow, and currently we are at continuous scroll. So let's change that to paginated, and now we have less things here. So let's change the direction to horizontal. So basically we see this, and then we can just click on this to see the extra information, and we can just go back by clicking on this, and already this has started to look way nicer. So we can also do something about the shape. Now it's a rectangle, but then let's just make it a rounded rectangle. It's too rounded, so let's just change it to like thin. Yeah, everything is looking nice already. And then we can also center these to make them look nicer, and the same idea, we just apply the same centering here as well, just to make everything look nice. So now everything is really looking started to take shape. Let's just go in and fit this, and then we see what further improvements we can add to this dashboard to make it look more professional. So basically let's just move this up a bit more. This was 100 and this was 125 225 plus 20 245. So this should start at 255, just keeping a spacing of 10 pixel. Let's see. Okay, and we have like 1200 here. So just splitting it into two. Let's see how much width each can take. I think 595 makes sense. Okay. So 600 plus 200, around 800. Let's start this with 5. See, yeah, and also increase the width of this to 595. Yes, so it has started to look nice as well. With the horizontal, the vertical 255, so this has to be moved a bit as well, just to keep everything in line. And now, so we can adjust the height as well. Basically, this started at 255 and the whole height is 890. So if it's 260, that would give us like around 500 and something. So at least everything should be like 250. This is 290. Let me see about this. And this is also 290. I think I can increase it a bit to about 320. Let me just make a quick check from here to see what we get. So we have 890 minus 265, so 625, and then we divide it by 2. So we have around 305 should be okay. Let me just increase this as well to see. Okay, so I did something wrong in my calculation. And this is here. Let me just move this a bit. So this is 320, around 320. And let me just move this to like 590, 80. Yeah, so it has to be 85 instead. Yeah, so that we have this. And the width is 595. To keep everything standard, so for this also, we started at 795, so we do the same thing for this. $585, and the width is 595. So everything is really taking shape and looking nicer. Let's see. Yes. So we have everything in line. And then let's just go in to make further improvements. So now when something is selected, basically we are having this background. Let's go in and now change that. So we go into the cards and then we go into the it will be in not in layout. Let's go into the buttons, and then when we say when it is selected, let's look at the fill color. It shouldn't, let's just turn that. Okay, this is white, and let's just turn this off. Or what we can do is to first do this. So let's go and make the background transparent. Then when we turn it off, it looks way better. So this is going to pick the background color of the main dashboard's background. Okay, this is for the background, and then we come to the buttons again. Let's try this one more time. Or I can just do this. Yeah, so now we have, by just turning just making it transparent, this is what we have. So now basically we have to go in and change these colors as well. And also by default, I wanted to pick the background color as well. So I'm just going to make this transparent here. And then we have to go in and make changes. So because the white when selected is not showing up nicely. So for that, what we can do is to increase the font size and also increase the color when this has been selected. So let me just first go in and change the color first. So I'm changing this color, and I'm also going to change the font size and font family as well. So let's just make this bigger so that it shows up well. Let's change the font family as well and just make this one bold. So now if we select something, it's still showing up as white. So now we can now go here and say when selected, we also want the same color as this. So nothing is changing, it's only this boundary that is showing. So now what we can do is to use the accent bar here to really make a difference. So we go back to the buttons and we scroll all the way down to the accent bar. And now we just say what do we want to do? We want when it is selected rather. So by default, let's just first turn off the accent bar so that nothing is showing. And now when something is selected, that is when we want to turn on the accent bar. So this is what is being shown here. So this I think already looks way better, but we still have this border, which let's go in and fix it. So we turn off the border as well. So now when something is selected, there is no border here. And let's go to the accent bar and let's move it to the bottom so that this is how it looks like. So now when something is clicked on, it shows as this and this and now this, which is looking great already. And now by default, we want to remove these borders, so we can come back up here. And by default, let's just turn off the border so that everything is looking kind of nice and simple, minimalistic, like a minimal look. So this is what we have now, which is like a great improvement. So let's add more improvement to it. What we can add is now a shadow to the whole thing. So let's just look at this. And let's go in again. And let's add a shadow or a border to it and see what the results would look like. Let's see. Let's go there. Here and let's turn on the. So this is not making much of a difference. But then for now, let's just leave this. Or let's try it in another different place and see. So we can go into general. We can look at the effects. Oh yes, and let's apply the shadow here. Okay, yeah. So now I think this already looks better. Let's just click away. So it kind of pop this one out and make it stand out. So already this is looking really nice. Let's go also and turn off the background color for this as well. We can just turn that background off so that we have this. And now I think this already started to look nice. So let's go back into the formatting to make it also look as nice as this as well. So if we come back here, then we can look at the buttons again. And what we can do is for the fill, let's just make it transparent so that we pick up the dashboard's background color. And this is also looking nice as well. So we go back here and we can go into the labels and also change the colors here as well. So by default, let's look at this. Let's just make it the same one. And this is looking good already. Maybe we can just increase this a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is okay. And then basically we can come here and push it back. So now the whole dashboard is taking shape. Let's apply the same changes to this as well. We start by formatting the title. So as I mentioned, so now we go in and let's change the sales amount to just sales so that it reflects in the title as well. And then what we can do is to also do the same thing. We go in and make the background transparent to pick up the dashboard's color behind the scenes. And this is looking nice already. And let's turn off also this because we have the data label information here. So we can go into the values and turn it off. And let's also change the font color for the title. So for the font color of the title, let's just go in, let's choose a color. Let's use this color for that. And yes, I think this looks way better. And also what we can do is to take a look at this and let's just change this. So we can kind of go here to make our life simple. Let's see whether we can apply any other changes, and then we are just going to apply that same formatting across so that we just limit the amount of time that we spend on it. So what we can also do here is to make it pop up by going into the effects and also turning on the shadow here. And I think this already is also looking nice. But then all these colors are kind of blending together. So let's just make make a difference here. So instead of just making it transparent, let's just go in and put in the, I have to first get the color. Let me just get the color again and we can put it there. And just change things around because I think the color is not popping. Or what we can do is just change the bar chart's color, and maybe that would also help to improve that. So for that, let's pick a color that we can use to change the bars itself instead of this default blue, and let's just look at the difference that would occur. Okay, so now it makes it stand out way better. So we can use this for now. And yeah, what other change do we want to apply here? What we can do is to maybe change the data label positioning. Let's try that and see how it looks. So for the data label here, let's look at the position and let's put it inside. Okay, by putting it inside, it makes it white. But then let's also, we can, I think, yeah, this looks nice already. And yeah, so what we can do is to pick the format and apply the same thing here. And all we have to do is go in here and change this sales amount to sales to make it look nicer. And same concept, we can also apply it here as well. And we do something similar for this. So we come back here and also change this to sales instead of sales amount. And I think everything is already looking good. So now if we click through one furniture, then this is what we have. So because now this was in millions, let's just go in and change it and see. But then if nothing is selected, let's see, it's 2 million. If something is filtered out, then it doesn't look quite nice. So what we can do then is we can go back into the data labels, and then for the value, instead of it being auto, we can force it to be like thousands. Let's see. And if nothing is selected, what do we have? Yeah, that becomes a lot. So I think let's just default it to the auto, and let's Power BI just determine that as we keep filtering. So let's just make it auto. And what we can also do is when you hover over it, we have this many dots. So what we can do is to go back into the measures that we created. So for example, like sales, we can just make it to maybe 2 decimal places. And for profit amount, also same, instead of auto, just keep it to 2 decimal places, and I think this should work. So yeah, everything is really looking nice. If we just click through, then for office supplies category, we have these subcategories under office supplies, and for technology, this is changing as well. So everything kind of looks good. The other thing we can do is to just apply this change here as well. So we also go here and we would just make this transparent. That is the background of the card, so that has been fixed. Now let's go into the card itself. So we go into the cards, and for the background we can also make it transparent. Just pick up that color, and now it looks like bleak. So let's just go in and make it look nicer. We can come back here and also turn on the shadow. And when we turn on the shadow, this is how it looks. And I think this looks way better. And this looks very presentable. So we can show this to our upper management. And basically we can see the total sum of sales. And then we can just break it down. This is the total sum of sales for 12.6 million. We can look at it when we click on furniture. The subcategories change, the sales by the market information is changing. We can just drill down here to go into the country level. And I think everything is looking very nice. What we can do is, because we are showing sales by salesperson, what we can do is for the salesperson, let's say we are showing the top 10 instead of showing everything. And what criteria are we going to use? So we are going to put in 10, and we are going to do it based on the sales amount in this case, and this looks way better. So we have a bit less data to focus on what is most important. And then this is already looking nice. So basically for furniture, we have the sales, the amount of profit, and also the number of orders, and then the number of returns. And then we can do the same analysis by office supply, where we see the corresponding subcategories and broken down by the different fields. So this is the end of the dashboard. So now also one more thing, when we change the sales, so now we can see the amount of sales which has been rounded up to 2 decimal places. So everything is looking really nice. And this is the end of this dashboard. I hope you like it and you use some of these techniques in your next dashboard. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also click on your notification button so that when we upload new videos, you'll be the first to receive it. Again, my name is Millie, and until next time, stay blessed. Bye bye for now.